Hey guys, Greg Foster here with the Tie-Dye Mindset. Today I get the honor of hosting an interview with one of my most, I would say, favorite artists out there. One of my top five dye artists, Josh Cohen, Workingmansdyes. This guy is, well, Josh, I'll let you tell your story, but first I just have to say the reason I wanted to bring you on was, and if I haven't said it directly to you before, I really love your work.
Thank you.
It's one of those things where your tying, your color placement, the way that you are doing your magic on your fabrics, on your canvases, whatever it is you're working on, dude, keep doing it and send me through like brain osmosis some of those tips and tricks that'll speed my progress. I know it takes time. I know it takes practice and all that. But honestly, just kind of rubbing elbows with you guys and some of the other really, really amazing dye artists has really just kind of upped my game. And I really thank you for that and just being a great example of what dye art is out there. And from our interactions on the phone and back and forth, you seem like a really cool guy. So hopefully today we can confirm that for everybody out there. So welcome to the Tie-Dye Mindset.
All right.
Tell me a little bit about Josh Cohen. How did you get into tie-dye? What kind of got you into it?
I just got into it a couple of years ago. Just sort of, decided I saw some tie-dye and thought, I could do it. But, I've been into the dead for a good number of years since I was a teenager, and never really wore too much tie-dye. I'd always wear like, Grateful Dead kind of graphic t-shirts type of stuff. And then just a few years ago, I saw some tie-dye that I liked and just decided I wanted to try it out.
Yeah, I mean, that seems to be a very similar story among a lot of the dye artists, and myself included, really, of how we got into tie-dye, just finding something that visually appealed to us and then saying, wow, I think I want to have a crack at it.
Yeah.
What do you think was kind of the thing that pushed you into that, I don't know, that level of expertise that you have now? I mean, is it just constant work, or is it was there anything in particular that kind of helped you along?
I think it's just really just trying to get good at something. I just try to focus on I don't really jump around a lot on patterns and stuff. Like if I'm trying to work with something, I'll really kind of try to hammer that and just try to get good at one thing at a time. That seems to help me.
Yeah, see, I'm too scatterbrained for that myself. It's like I find one style, I try and get it down good enough, and then I find another style. It's kind of like on some of those Facebook pages like Addicted to Tie-Dyeing and Alternative Tie-Dye Techniques and all those other funky pages, you'll see the kind of trend of like the geode or the bag or this, kind of trends for a few days, few weeks, and then the next greatest thing comes along and kind of captures everybody's attention. I guess that's kind of like, not that I follow those trends, but really more, I want to just get a good basis of a good repertoire of different styles that I can bang out a Kenny, or I can bang out a Super Spiral, or, and I'm not at the point where everything is perfect on one style, but I still keep making improvements wider and wider. And
right.
But I totally understand focusing specifically on one.
I think doing a bunch of different stuff and improving, on a bunch of stuff at once is a good approach too. Cause you don't have to start from ground zero when you start something new. I wish I could do that, but I get stuck on doing one kind of thing, and that's always how I am with anything. It get kind of single-minded in that way.
yeah, kind of focused in on what you're doing, and it's easier to stay the course than to make a turn.
Well, just for everything, not just tie-dye. It's just, that's how I am. I'm, can't, it's like Grateful Dead music. That's all I can listen to, tie-dye. Yeah, it's sort of like one tie-dye type of thing at once. I've been trying to do other, branch out a little bit from Kenny style and do,
Mm-hmm.
Do a few other things here and there, but Kenny style is really what I like doing.
How did you get introduced to the Kenny style?
I saw Paul's work and on Addicted to Tie-Dyeing and Thomas's too, and just was flabbergasted at how good it was, and just I think their work is like the pinnacle, really, tie-dye for me. And that's pretty much it. And then
Yeah,
I saw.
Sorry.
I saw Jake Roloff's do it, like, and it made me realize that you didn't have to be like a Kenny to actually, it was like you didn't have to be like a superhuman.
Right.
This is a guy, just another tie-dyer. He was able to do it and really well, and that's kind of what inspired me to give it a shot. His work.
I've been fiddling with it. I still haven't gotten it to a point that I'm entirely happy with it yet, because I think if I tie one, it's different, and that's kind of the fun and the great aspect of tie-dye is everything's unique, and I just haven't gotten to that level of kind of muscle memory or expertise or whatever. I just have not like this. I'm using anyways while I'm tie-dyeing, so I'm happy with results. They aren't like yours, that's for sure, but it gives me something to shoot for.
Yeah. Your stuff looks cool. I think that's how a lot of tie-dye is. Just everything, it's all different, and that's what I like about it.
Now, with all the work that you've done with the Kenny style, do you feel that you've made strides in making it your own?
I mean, I think I feel like I feel like anybody that really tries with the Kenny style and works hard at it is kind of got their own distinctive take on it. You can see anybody that really tries. I think you could kind of pick out who did what.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'd like to think so.
Yeah, no, one of the things that Thomas and I were talking about, we videotaped us doing, he was doing all of my hot sauces and my super hot pepper tinctures. He was talking with me while we were interviewing him. And one of the things that we were talking about your work was the thing that really fascinates me is how you get your lighter colors kind of almost like it's almost like a background that really pops out the dark colors. And I've been trying to emulate that just because that's what, it's almost like a backglow, you know what I mean? Like a backlighting. And I think that, I mean, as brilliant as Paul and Thomas tie, I think their kind of spray and pray technique of dyeing, is a little more just kind of Jackson Pollocky versus where yours, it just feels a little more precise. Do you feel that same way about your work?
I do a lot of the spray and pray when I'm dyeing. I love it how that works. I just most of what I do is kind of like that spray and pray type of stuff. With just maybe just a little bit of attention to the background. But yeah, it's pretty much what I do too.
So aside from, choosing that Kenny style, has there been anybody out there that kind of helped you along as far as like a coach or a mentor, somebody that you really looked up to when you started out?
Well, I mean, Paul helped me out a lot. I sent him a lot of messages and, just asking him all kinds, probably pestered him to death about all kinds of different stuff. Cause, I was like just obsessed with it, trying to get it, to where I felt good about it. And, he was really, just great about, answering all kinds of stuff and then also leaving stuff, for me to figure out for myself. but always really open as far as different things. But yeah, I mean, there's, you know, pretty much Paul is, he helped me out a lot.
Yeah, Paul's been one of those spirits that's really been forthcoming with his style, his techniques, and the thing I really like about Paul is they get really deep into the chemistry of the dyes, and you know, with Paul's chemistry background, that he's got that sort of scientific take on it, you know, which really helps me conceptualize what's going on with the dye and the fabric. So I can really appreciate that.
Yeah, me too.
And what, you know, as a deadhead, what better guy to have as somebody to look up to in the industry, as somebody who's, you know, listening and following the dead forever.
Right, yeah.
So where, you know, as you said what, just the last few years, you know, not super long, not like 30 years or, you know, a lot of these older guys, you know, after the time that you put into this, where do you think that you kind of feel you fit into the industry as a dye artist, as a reference? What do you kind of see yourself as?
I mean, you know, it's just like something I enjoy doing. It's you know, I mean, I feel like I fit into my own place. I guess in part of the larger community, but you know, as far as my own take on it goes, it's just, you know, it's something I do as much as I can when I'm home from work and, you know, done hanging out with my family. And my wife works at night, so I got a lot of time on my hands. You know, she works, you know, 4 to 5 nights a week, so I could, you know, pretty hammer away at it. And it's just my hobby. It keeps me busy when I'm at home at night, you know, instead of watching TV. But
sure.
It's, you know, just what I like.
Awesome. Well, you're darn good at it, so keep it up.
Thanks.
With that in mind, I mean, you can see the progression over, you know, the way that you've posted, going deeper into especially in your Instagram. Other than practice, is there anything in particular that you would say helped you along that way in that transformation from kind of, I hate to say rudimentary, but more of a beginning level of where, compared to where you are now?
I mean, I think it's really just, you say besides practice, but I think that's sort of like all there is. I mean, you know, you might get pointers from people and stuff like that, but I mean, still, like, you know, the majority of anything that you're going to learn, I think, how to do is, you know, it's self-taught, and it's just through like lots of hours of, you know, trying stuff. And then, you know, you figure out like a small little piece and try to remember how to do that, or, you know, either lose it forever. Like there's just one thing that I lost forever. I was trying to figure out radio waves for, you know, like, Michael Martelli makes really awesome ones. And then Takafumi and Timothy also really make amazing ones. And I was just hammering away at that, trying to get the asymmetrical look that they're able to get. And one day I finally got one that was like all crazy looking and asymmetrical, and like probably like 20 more of them I tried doing. I couldn't figure it out. So, you know, some stuff just you get lucky and it gets lost forever. But I think, yeah, just mostly practice and obsession and just trying to get better, you know, with each shot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Is there any particular designs that, let's say, you don't enjoy or you don't really want to do?
I mean, like there's stuff that you know, I mean, I like it when I see other people do it, but I just, you know, like just stuff that I don't really, just time that I don't really feel like I want to work on. Just different stuff, you know. Mm-hmm. The stuff I don't do, I guess, you know.
Right.
You know, it's stuff that I just I haven't tried, or, you know, I tried a good amount of stuff. There's lots of stuff I haven't tried, and, you know, maybe in the future or something, but like, you know, yeah, but I just like doing what I do.
Cool. Yeah, man.
But there, you know, I'm sure there's other stuff, you know, like I've been branching back into spirals a little bit, and finally tried out doing some geodes and stuff like that. So there's other stuff I want to do. It's just a matter of finding the time and, you know, putting the Kenny style aside, which is tough for me because I like doing it so much.
Sure. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, the times that I do the Kenny style, it gets almost, because it is very repetitive in time, it's almost meditative, you know, much more so than some of the other times that I have to sit there and kind of think about, okay, where am I going to put this and how am I going to do that?
Yeah.
Especially when I get custom orders, you're like, how am I going to make that design?
Oh man.
Which I'm starting to pull back from. Like on my website, I've pulled off some of the things that you can tell me what to do. I'm just like, just pick a color and a size. I'll go from there.
Oh, that's good. That's a nice, yeah, it's nice. That's a nice way to do it.
So to switch gears a little bit, you know, I've been talking to a lot of guys and ladies in the industry, and I've been in a way able to classify two camps in the expert dye world. One of being very close to the chest with their knowledge, their technique, and one that and willing to share and teach and pass on what they have learned. You know, what's your kind of take on that? And you know, how do you feel that you kind of fit in, you know, if at all, in one or two, or somewhere in the middle?
I mean, it's tough for me to say that I want to be tight-lipped about stuff because just because of how generous Paul is with his technique and everything that, you know, he's given to the tie-dye community. And I'm like a direct beneficiary of that because, you know, everything I learned, you know, all that stuff is just stuff that he put up directly. And my little girl just woke up though. I gotta go. I just gotta go for a second. I'll be right back.
Man, I'll pause.
Okay.
Okay, we're back.
Okay.
Yeah, so we were kind of talking about the expert not sharing knowledge and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah, so I think it's tough for any Kenny style dyer to feel that way, at least about Kenny style overall. But that said, like, I don't know. There's stuff that I share, and then there's also stuff like dye application and things like that. Like, I'm pretty, you know, I'm pretty open about a lot of stuff. Some stuff I hold tight, but you know, kind of in the middle, I guess.
Yeah, you know, I look at it in a couple of ways. You know, there are people that you know, like, I don't know if you're familiar with Carl McClellan, Mr. Tie-Dye, who's got his YouTube. I see what he's doing as a way to teach people just getting into the industry, as providing them a foundation to build upon. And then, you know, he's not teaching all of his secrets, and I know that just seeing his work. But he's very open with, you know, the real fundamentals of tying a spiral or doing an accordion fold or doing this specific design and folding your shirt and I think that's great for the crafters out there that just want to tie-dye for themselves. Then there's another level of dye artist, which I would place you in with Paul and Thomas and, you know, like Josh Hudson and Austin Macrath and all these guys who have really taken it above and beyond what just that basic knowledge means. So there's that level of expertise that's taken time and trial and error to figure out. So there's a level of earned knowledge that, you know, I see it as, you know, holding on to that intellectual property almost, of saying, this is my style, this is how I've done it. You may like it a lot, but it's really up to you to do these things just like I did, you know?
Right.
How do you feel about that?
I think I agree. I think a lot of it's just stuff that can't be taught, like development of a style. I think it's stuff that, you know, you can teach it, but you got to teach like every little nuance of what you do. And I think that's, you know, it comes down to just what you put together as like the way you make stuff. And I think I think discovering that is, you know, great. It's a great thing about making tie-dye, like just picking up the small little things and putting them together to you know, to kind of build your style up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you know, but yeah, I agree with
Like
you.
you say, it's hard to teach the nuance, you know, like you go into your studio and you just, to you, it's just I'm going to do. And to somebody else, it's like a whole different language. And there are nuance in there that we might, as artists, not even know that we're doing that make our style unique. You know.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I can appreciate the dye artist who, you know, in one respect is tight-fisted, but it's like, well, I'm not trying to be. I just don't know how to teach you this. You know, there are some aspects that I just can't explain. It just happens.
well, it's nice to lead some discovery up to people too, you know, like Paul, you know, I'd ask him different things about, like, not like really trying to hit him too hard for specifics on dye application and things like that, but anytime I sort of veered in that direction, you know, he kind of just told me to, you know, figure, you know, work on, try doing it, like just try it out, see how it works, stuff like that. And I think that's important, you know, to develop your own style and just to have fun. You know, you try something out, it comes out good, or you know, you got another rag for the, you know, the mop bucket. It's like, it's one or the other. It's, you know, it's something that you worked on and tried.
Do you feel that if we were able to share a lot of that higher end knowledge, that might dilute a little bit of your own work or the level of expertise that you have as far as what's being put out there for the consumer? Do you care?
I mean, it's hard to say, you know, it's hard to say, you know, I like having my stuff, you know, I look like the stuff that I make. And I think if you had another 100 people that were making the stuff the same exact way, it would be, you know, kind of, but then again, if somebody, it's hard for me to say really, you know, I would say so, in some ways, you know, it's nice to have people having their own take on different things. I think it's important.
What kind of pushed you towards putting your shirts out there for sale and, you know, doing the drops and stuff and just, you know, generating kind of a side income?
I mean, I really, it was just, you know, once I found out that I could sell them, like, you know, my first few shirts, I still have them. They're all like rags and stuff, but you know, I got, it was exciting, like to be able to sell my first shirt for $25 and, or one, you know, one of my first ones. And just really like the motivation was just to be able to sell them so I could buy more stuff to keep, you know, keep the hobby going, because, you know, it's expensive if, you know, it's like there's only so much hobby money to go around, you know, it's like, so you make the initial investment of a couple $100, you get some shirts and some dyes, and if they sit there, it's like, well, I got to spend more money to, you know, keep this thing going. So really the motivation was just to be able to keep going and try to get better.
Yeah. What do you think's motivating you now?
I just really like making the stuff, to open them up, and you know, sometimes it's just tough to get it going. Like, you know, the last few batches I put together, they've kind of taken me longer and longer because, like, summertime, I got stuff going on here and whatnot. But just generally, it's just the thrill of like opening something up and, you know, trying something new and seeing if you could pull it off. I mean, I think I try like less stuff new now because of sort of like the groove that I've gotten into with the Kenny style, but that's sort of what made me try different stuff out with the other, you know, work back with the spirals and, you know, try out some of these geodes here and whatnot. But yeah, I think the motivation is still just to like make tie-dye and open it up. but the grind is sometimes just making it. Like, you know, it's like the fun part is opening it up and getting it together and like taking a picture and actually seeing like what it looks like as a whole. Because even, you know, even if you have it in front of you, you can't. It's tough to visualize the whole thing. Like, you put it in a picture, it's like you could actually see it under the lights. It's like, this is what it looks like. But, you know, sometimes it's just tough to tie them up. Like you said like the tying the Kenny style is meditative. I mean, that's, you know, it can be, but it's, you know, it's kind of like a romanticized. It's like, for me, sometimes just like, I mean, it's could be grueling just to, you know, sit there and just tie them up. I mean, just like anything, you know, but yeah, it's motivated by, you know, opening them up pretty much.
Yeah, man, I feel the same way. It's always fun. Like, I have a hard time waiting for my stuff to batch, you know, at least 24 hours. Sometimes if I batch 48 hours, I have to like pat myself on the back, like, you did it. A day at a time, you did it.
Yeah. Well, this first, I made a few of these geodes here the other night, and I never really messed around with them except back when I was just beginning, and I, you know, been thinking a lot about them, trying to how to make them, just how to make them cool looking. And I did one the other day on a bandana and like stuck it right in the microwave and washed it out immediately. It was like completely, you know, just because I had to see it, I couldn't wait like, you know, 20, because something new like that, it's like, you know, it's still exciting. So yeah, I microwaved that thing. Came out cool looking, but the colors were terrible because I just blasted the microwave.
Right. So, do you feel like in the tie-dye world that you've become sort of an icon or like a celebrity as a dye artist?
No, that's a tough, you know, it's kind of tough to think that. I think, you know, I mean, you know, I've only been dyeing for a couple of years, I think, and there's a lot of really good dyers out there. I think, I don't think, you know, Paul's an icon, I think, in the tie-dye world. You know, I mean, there's not many. I don't think. I think he's one.
Yeah,
But
no, definitely
yeah,
there, and
yeah, I think so. I think him, Courtney Pollock, but yeah, Takafumi also. But I don't know. It's kind of tough for me to think in those terms too. It's just like, you know, these guys make cool stuff. Just a regular tie-dyer like me.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, it's kind of tough to think in those terms, like an icon or a celebrity, when tie-dye is such like a kind of a small little facet of what people like, you know.
Yeah. No, I feel you. You know, there's different size egos in every niche. So it's always fun to gauge where people are. And
well, I think artists generally are, you know, I mean, have big egos, you know, and they, you know, talent wants to be recognized and stuff like that. And like, you know, it's, you know, but yeah, that's about it.
Do you have any other, you know, you talk about tie-dye as one of your big hobbies. Do you have any other interests or other hobbies that you partake in?
Yeah, I mean, I really only have room for one hobby at a time. It's really tough for me. Like, you know, my last hobby was surf casting here in Connecticut. I did a lot of surf fishing for striped bass, and I got a good one up on the wall up there. I don't know if you could see him up there.
Sweet.
But yeah, that was a good fish, about just over 50 pounds from the surf in Connecticut. So,
I lived on Nantucket for 6 years, and we would do South Shore surf casting all the time.
Oh man, that had to be fun.
Oh, it was a blast.
Oh man, yeah, I miss the surf. But yeah, I played the banjo for a good number of years, and stopped doing that when I took up surf casting. But I like going to see Dark Star Orchestra, and they're you know, I see them as much as I can. This year it's obviously been tough, but I saw them a few drive-in concerts with those guys, and they were very good. So Got a couple of more. Got a socially distanced concert coming up over here, which like you rent like an 8-foot, square
Right.
pod
Right.
areas. So we're gonna do that, and yeah, that's what I like. My family and everything, and stuff like that. That's what I like to do.
What do you think? What do you think is going to happen to tie-dye in the future? Where we're at now. Kind of look back. We saw this great push in the 70s. Kind of came back up a little bit in the 80s and the late 90s, and then it kind of disappeared. And then recently, all of a sudden, it's kind of resurged into the mainstream lexicon. There's a lot of people out there, a lot of companies doing tie-dye. Where do you think that it's going to go from here?
I mean, that's tough. I got into tie-dye not long ago, so I don't really have a very broad frame of reference to, have any idea. I think what's, in the mainstream tie-dye is, most, like Walmart tie-dye and stuff like that, or all these crazy, designer, crazy like designer runway, like Gucci and all this crazy tie-dye you see. It just looks, looks kind of cheesy to me. No offense to whoever dyed it, but it's kind of like, so I have really no idea. Like, I don't know if high-end tie-dye is going to really punch into the mainstream or anything like that, or what, or I don't know if it is already, like, where, the popularity of it. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I think I think I see it growing. I try to be kind of an objective observer, but also as a participant. I try and watch it with 2 eyes, but we can always see what we want to see when we're looking around rather than seeing the reality. So hopefully it sticks around and there's a lot more dye artists, because it's one of those things that I absolutely love. So
yeah, it's cool to see on the street in tie-dye, just in general, just generally you see tie-dye. It's like I saw a guy getting into his car at Costco the other day wearing a spiral. It was like a camouflage color spiral. I'm like, I bet you that guy made that thing. It was pretty cool.
Awesome.
Yep.
If you had to start everything over, is there anything you would have done differently in tie-dyeing as far as where you started and where you are now?
No, I wouldn't say so. I mean, not really. I'm pretty happy with, the way it's been going. I liked, I did a lot of ice dyeing when I started, and I still like that, so I did a couple ice dyes not too long ago, spirals for a friend, and no, not really. It's kind of just something that doesn't really stress me out. So no, I wouldn't say so.
Cool.
I would say, like, if I didn't start using tulip dyes or anything like that, if I started doing that, or I would say if anybody wanted to start off, to just start off using the good stuff, Procyon dyes. That's where I see a lot of people, like beginners, want to change over, and it's like a big change, in the quality of their stuff. So I think that's, if I used it, I would say I would change that.
It looks like I've only got a couple minutes left. They got me on a limit of time here on this meeting. So,
blown right by.
Yeah, I know, right? So to kind of close us out here, what would you consider to be, your greatest success in tie-dye, and what do you think are some of the more significant lessons that you've learned?
Man, you got some tough questions.
A good interviewer digs deep.
I don't know. Like this thing behind me, this is probably one of my favorite ones that I made.
It's gorgeous, man.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, I don't know about greatest successes, just when stuff comes out good and I'm able to, keep moving forward. And lessons, I don't know. I mean, I've had lessons like, not to open stuff up too early or not put stuff in the microwave because you're being impatient, like stuff like that. Nothing significant though, just, you know, stuff that I've learned, like it's going to come out bad, but you know, if you really got to see it, maybe you can make it happen again, that type of stuff. But yeah.
Well, you know, just kind of as we wind down here again, Josh, your work has been me, and I hope you understand that what you're doing opens up a lot of people's eyes in good ways. So
Thanks.
My pleasure. And keep doing it. Keep working at it. I love what you're doing. I got to get your pieces of blues and light blues just in case you need to place an order for me. But yeah, I just want to say thanks again. It's been a real good talk with you. Good chat. Good to get to wrap with you. Again, apologies for the technical issues and the things that are going on. So you got anything else you want to say before we're out?
No, I appreciate you having me on. Thanks a lot. And yeah, that's about it. Thanks for my first Zoom meeting.
All right, man. Well, let's stay in contact. And again, everybody, thanks so much for listening. Subscribe, comment down below. Follow Josh on his Instagram, which is Workingmansdyes. Instagram, Facebook, he's around there as well. Josh, thank you so much, man. And I really appreciate you taking the time.
Thanks, Greg.
Cool,
Thanks
man.
a lot.
So
all right, see ya.